What is up, guys? We are back again for another one, and this is going to be another entry into the Torture Trials saga, which seems to be my most popular. So we're going to go ahead and do another one, and I'm going to be honest with you. This one is one that I have been avoiding for a long time because me and this beer don't get along, and I know I've said that in a couple of videos, but this one, if you guys have watched my previous videos, you know that me and Bud Ice don't get along, okay? I have some really horrific memories with that beer, but this one tops it all. And I think it's because of its Iced Brother variant. Me and Ice beers just don't mix, and this is the predecessor to the iced beer version that gave me so much trouble. But that doesn't mean that it's any better. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys the can because I'm not happy about this one, but I put it off long enough. It's been 5 years doing this on YouTube. If you go back to my first videos, it's been 5 years of doing this, and in 5 years I have not posted a video of this one, and I figured, you know what, might as well just go ahead and bite the bullet, proverbially, and get it done and over with so I don't have to do it again and I never have to drink this shit ever again. The one that we are going to be doing today is the infamous, the frat boy beer of choice, Keystone Light. All right, so just a little bit of background on Keystone Light. It says Coors Brewing Company. It is brewed by Coors in Golden, Colorado. Coors is owned by Miller or Molson, however you want to put it. So this is a Coors product, but don't think that you are going to get Coors quality out of it because you're not. This one, 4.1 ABV, so very low, which explains why a lot of people like this one. Not to mention, it is astronomically cheap. I think I picked this can up for $2.50, and this is a 24-ounce tall boy can. No extra ounce gimmick here because it's not Anheuser-Busch. But before I get into the beer, I wanted to mention I did see a video review of this by a wine taste tester, and I watched the video and I was so appalled because the tactics used to taste wine and to taste beer are different. Okay, it's just like coffee tasting or anything like that. My grandmother was actually part of a wine taste testing club, and taught me how to taste test wine, and wine's not my thing. I've got like one brand of wine that I actually like drinking. It's just never been something that I've enjoyed. But he was taking a tiny little swish and then spitting it. And that works well with wine, okay? It does not work well with carbonated beverages such as beer. And the fact that you would waste your talent on Keystone is beside me. I have no idea. Now, in that video, he did make a lot of frat boy jokes and college parties and ragers and things like that, so I will spare you guys the quibs, and we will get straight to this beer. But I will tell you, straight out of the gate, ingredients listed: water, barley malt, we'll put that one to the test, and corn syrup. So if you guys have been paying attention to beer advertisements here lately, biggest advertisement has been from Anheuser-Busch, marketing the fact that they have no corn syrup in their beers. Okay, in Germany, there's a law that states if corn syrup or corn syrup extract or corn syrup derivative is used in beer, it's not beer legally. So this is corn water that contains alcohol in Germany, for those who don't know. And if you live in Germany and I'm wrong, feel free to get in the comment section and correct me, but I think I'm pretty accurate on that one. So let's go ahead and get down to this. This one is going to be an adjunct lager, just like every single other beer we have reviewed in the Torture Trials. So it says malted barley. We're gonna find that out here in just a minute. How much actual malted barley they're using in this beer. Glassware today is going to be the novelty craft beer glasses that every beer connoisseur gets from their aunt that doesn't know anything about beer. And actually, we are probably going to use a different glass because this one doesn't look like it made it through the wash properly. See, isn't this why you guys love, watching videos that are uncut? Because you get to see the raw footage. I was going through and watching some of my previous videos. Let's take it back. Let's go back in time and use a Ridge pint glass. But I was watching some of my previous videos. Damn, I looked young back then. Oh my God. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years. But I had a lot of different glassware back then. So let's do a true throwback and go back way to the beginning when these were relegated to shit beer. And let's give this one a shot. So, as I was saying, this is going to be an adjunct lager. For those who don't know, feel free to watch some of my older videos where I explain adjuncts in a little bit better detail. I'll just give you a brief overview. Adjunct lagers are lagers or beers that use other additives to minimize the cost of production, and they don't have to utilize such premium ingredients such as barley malt. Generally speaking, it's corn or rice, depending on the manufacturer of the beer. God, that head disappeared quickly. All right, so appearance is very, very, very light yellow coloring. I can see you through the beer. You can see me through the beer. I can see you seeing me through the beer. And we can see the beer display through the beer. So yet again, we have a beerception. Lots of fizzy bubbles. Looks like fizzy apple juice. Let's get a nose on this guy. Ugh. Yep, just like I remembered. It smells a lot more offensive when it's not in the can, that's for damn sure. So, get just a vegetable-y smell. I wouldn't really say asparagus like malt liquors, but more like mixed vegetables, like most adjunct beers will smell like. I can't really nail down what adjuncts they're using. Pretty sure it's corn, but I could be wrong. It is Coors, so generally their adjuncts are going to be corn. I can imagine that since this is their bottom of the barrel, they are using, cobs and just throwaway corn scraps that they can utilize what little sugar is there to create alcohol, and then add the cornstarch, that would make for a thick beer, corn syrup at the end to give us back some of that sweetness that we're missing. So yeah, let's give it a shot, see if it's as bad as I remember. It's been since 2013, 14. So it's been about 8 years, and they say your taste buds change every 7 years, so maybe they've changed for the better and I can start saving money and just drinking Keystone. Or maybe they haven't and it saves me from having to tolerate crappy beer. Man, there is just not much to you, is there? So I do remember that. It has that metallic flavor, and I don't miss that. So mouthfeel, very light and carbonated, which it should be. It's a light beer. Looks like calorie count on this guy is going to be 101. So it's still pretty high for a light beer. Most of our light beers nowadays are getting into the 90s. Less than 1 gram of protein, no fat, 4.7 carbs. So Excuse me. It wouldn't be a beer review of mine if I didn't let one of those go at least once. But it's light and watery. You do get some crispness there from the carbonation, but the taste profile is really vague. I don't really get any hoppiness, to be honest with you. This tastes like some of the NA beers that I've had because it's so vague. There is a little bit of a sweetness there that I'm assuming is coming from the corn syrup, but it's not offensive. This is not as bad as I remember it being, so I guess that's a plus. Corn is present, but again, very vague. It just kind of hints at the flavors, like it's beer, but it's beer's less well-dressed friend at the party. Does that make sense? you know he's part of the group because he hangs out with all the other guys, but if he was standing by himself, you'd question what clique he belonged to. But that metallic aftertaste is definitely present, like I remember it, and not enjoying that in the slightest. I drank a lot of this stuff back in my younger days when I was, strapped for cash and wanted to throw a party, because Keystone, believe it or not, is one of the easiest to provide for a lot of people because it's so inexpensive. I mean, you can get a 30-pack for the price of an 18-pack of most other beers. Right up there with Natural Light, which I'm going to have to do that one too because I haven't done that one yet either. So it's an economy beer. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It contains alcohol. It has enough of a beer flavor for you to know that it's beer. And if you're wanting to provide beer for a lot of people, definitely don't see why this wouldn't be a viable option. Would it be my option? Fuck no, not a chance. If I'm going to buy beer for people, I'm not going to make them tough this out. Not a chance. I'd probably buy Coors Light or Miller Lite or something along those lines. Bud Light, hard pass on that one. I still have relegated Bud Light to, I don't want to say this, I don't want to say boycott, but just, nah. That's the best way I can describe it. But this would definitely be a beer that would be easy enough to drink copious amounts of, because it's just I feel like in order for you to really get a sense of, oh, this is beer, you would need to drink a lot, if I'm being honest. But overall, it's just vague. There's not really a lot there to judge. It's very, transparent about what it is. I mean, it doesn't try to be anything more than an economy beer. And it doesn't do a bad job about it. I know their marketing campaigns are kind of odd. I see a lot of orange camo themed cans around my area, and in association with different hunting brands, Duck Commander and Browning and stuff like that, which I'm not a huge fan of that because I don't really like to talk about guns and firearms and things and my political views on YouTube, because it's a very it's a very small line to toe, and this is a beer review channel. This is not a political channel, but I will say, being a gun owner and a responsible gun owner at that, I think promoting your beer in the theme of a hunting gun sport sends the wrong message, Keystone. Alcohol and guns should never be mixed, because people in the wrong circumstances, when influenced by alcohol, make bad decisions. And they present gun owners in a light that is far from desirable. So giving validation to the association with alcohol and a gun-related sport is probably not a good idea. The chances of this video getting out to anyone at Coors is probably 1 in a million, but if by chance it does, remove that from your marketing campaign, because that's not a good look. I live in Texas, which is one of the biggest 2A friendly states, and there's a ton of hunting going on around here, and I can promise you the hunters that do drink don't drink when they're hunting, and they don't drink Keystone. I can guarantee you that. So to save yourself a PR nightmare, maybe it's time to change the marketing scheme a little bit. Just putting that out there. But back to this, very vague. So it's going to be hard to rate this one, good or bad. It's going to be hard to give it a bad score, because it's so vague that it's not offensive, short of the metallic after flavor. But it's also so vague that I can't really give it a great score, because there's just not much here to judge. It's like a Ford Focus. Ford Focuses aren't bad cars, but they're not great cars. They're just, subcompact sedans. It's like, if you were to put a Focus against a Corolla, then yeah, of course the Corolla is the better, more reliable, more feature-rich car. But if you put the Focus against a Pinto, then the Focus looks pretty good. It's a hard spot to be in this one. This one's going to be a hard one to rate, if I'm being 100% transparent with you guys. But I will say it doesn't taste as bad as I remember. Now, a lot of my memory stems from beer pong games, where the beer is warm and sitting on the table for a while, and you've probably had more beer before the game got started and the beer got warm, and so of course your opinions of everything that's going on is going to be slightly askew because alcohol is involved. But I can honestly say it's not as bad as I remember. It's not very appealing in the glass, because it looks like my pee would look after having about 15 of these, which would probably be pretty easy to take down, if I'm being honest. But it's definitely one that, if somebody handed it to me, I probably wouldn't complain at my current point in my life. I don't know if, like I said, it's because my taste buds have changed, or because my opinions were slightly biased by the copious amounts of alcohol in my system when I tasted it, but who knows? Now, I will say a lot of the experience with Keystone that I have is Keystone Ice, because that was the cheapest high ABV beer you could get at the time, and it was great for getting a buzz, getting drunk. It was wonderful for that, because you could spend very minimal amount of money, and came in individual cans. You didn't have to worry about buying 40s. Oh, whoa. Oh my God, that was a good one. Holy man. You know what I should do? I should go through all my videos and make a compilation of burps and rate them and see which one was the best. If you want to see me do that, I know that sounds stupid, and I'm one of those ridiculous people that think that's cool, But if you think that sounds like a good idea, throw in the comment section. Let me know if you want me to turn all of my videos into a compilation of burps and we can rate them together. Maybe I'll go live and react to them all. That might be a good idea. I have a spare phone that I could connect to Wi-Fi just to watch my old videos to react to. In the comment section, if you want to see me do a reaction video to my old reviews, throw it in the comments section. That might be a cool video idea. And I'll go live and, answer comment questions and whatnot. And that might be fun. It's amazing the things you think of on the spot. See, again, aren't you guys glad I don't cut and edit these and make them all, corporate YouTube acceptable? Forgive me for being the rebel. By the way, you like the shirt? It says, I make beer disappear. What's your superpower? Pretty cool. I figured it was very fitting for the review that we're going to do today. I will let you guys know next couple of videos are going to be ones that I have tried to not do, but currently speaking with the way the market is going and just the beer community in general, I feel like I don't want to say I'm forced, but I feel like I kind of need to go ahead and step in and do this because I have prided myself on tasting all of the really shitty beers, and technically these are beers, so keep an eye out for that. Not too happy about it, so you guys will get to enjoy seeing me suffer just that much more with these new products that have exploded onto the freaking market since 2020. Which I hope everyone's healthy and doing good and, avoiding COVID if they can help it. Got a lot of people around me that have got it. Thank God I'm 3-0 against COVID. Been directly exposed 3 times and come out negative each time. So maybe you boys got some genetic immunity, don't know, but thank God I have yet to catch the Rona, because if I caught the Rona, then I wouldn't be able to do these reviews because I couldn't taste anything. But that might be a funny one too. If I catch the Rona, maybe I'll do a review and taste test beers and see if I can taste them. That would be a great idea. I could have my mom deliver beers contactlessly to me while I'm out on Rona quarantine and do Rona taste testing on beers, even though I've lost my sense of taste and smell. That would be hilarious. I'm full of great ideas. Okay, let's get off the tangents and let's get to rating this beer. So, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this one a C+. Okay? And the reason is it's vague. And like I mentioned earlier, it's vague to a point that I can't give it a good rating. And I can't necessarily give it a bad rating because it's not offensive enough, I mean, your malt liquors and your, skunked Corona Premiers just come straight out the gate with, oh, I suck. This one, it does have that metallic aftertaste, but it has enough of those flavors there that it kind of offsets it. But they're not enough there to put it against, ahead of its competitors like Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light, Shiner, Budweiser, Miller High Life, Yellow Bellies, Coors Original, or any other of the Torture Trials competition short of the malt liquors. But that being said, the malt liquors aren't trying to be anything but what they are. So I'm just going to put it in the middle of the pack. For the money that you're spending, it's not a bad choice. Do I think maybe you spend the extra 50 cents and get you something a little bit better? Sure. I feel like if you, could dig through your couch and find you 3 quarters and get you a Coors Light or, Miller Lite, or, dig through your laundry and find another quarter and get you, Budweiser, then yeah, you're better off. But not everyone is in a position where they can do that. So if you, have busted your ass at your job and bills are tight and you want to come home to cold beer to drink, I mean, Keystone's there. And it's doing its job the way it's intended. Do I agree with the whole corn syrup additive? No, because it's not a natural beer ingredient. And so, yeah, it's kind of fake in that aspect, but it fills the role that it's intended to fill just fine. So I'm gonna give it a C plus. That it's meh. It's all right. It's okay. You hand me one and I'll drink it. Fine, cool. It's beer. We can crack one open and have a conversation and throw one back. Cool, whatever. But it's not up there with the best of the worst, if that makes any sense. So, you guys just stay tuned for the next one. I promise I'm not doing this for clout on the next one. I'm not doing this to fit in, but it ties directly into what I do here in tasting and, giving reviews on these crappy beers so that you guys don't have to necessarily drink them. But in the way that the world is going and the way things are changing, there are people out there buying these. And if I can give you guys, some foresight before you actually reach into the cooler and grab something, I'm going to do it, because that's why I do this. I don't get paid to do this. If I got paid, my channel would be bigger and I'd have more subscribers and more comment action, and, you'd see ads and stuff on my videos. I do this because I like doing it. I do this because I want to pass time, and I do this because I want to be able to give you guys some insight on what beer is, so that instead of grabbing this, well, let me rephrase that. When you can afford to grab more than this, maybe you can grab something up here. Entice your curiosity a little bit and venture out from your comfort zone into the possibilities of what craft beer is, because in reality, there is a beer up here that could probably suit anyone's palate. And if you go from something like this to something like this, then who knows? You may love it. You never know. You may be like that old grumpy farmer who just hates it and sticks with his Keystone, and that's okay. But that's what I try to do here. So I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next one. I promise it'll be good, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night.